What is your plan here? In what world is it a good idea to bunch up in front of Mildred? What? Why? Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Stream number 2 on the day. We, of course, have viewer games. We're going to see what people have in store, see if they can top some of the insanity that happened in the final Fright Night tournament. It was definitely very exciting watching the top 8, but it's long. It's pretty long. I'm a little beat. I'm a little beat casting all those games. Some very, very tense games, some very exciting games between a lot of very, very good players. But we did, in fact, crown a final champion. No spoilers, though. You're going to have to check that out for yourself. What's going on, chat? How's everybody doing out there? How's everybody doing out there? Oof. We got 40 games in the queue, chat. We're only going to get through 10 of them. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of fucking games. There's a lot of games. I don't know why I switched. We got to do this first. Switch scenes a little too quickly before we get into everything. Of course, I have to let everybody know that I'm part of the content affiliate program. That means that the Phobies team does, in fact, give me coffee for producing Phobies content. Letting you know at the beginning. Let's get into the games. All right, chat. Let's see what we got. We've got a lot of games to look at. And try and not get too sidetracked tonight if we can help it. We'll see how it goes. This looks like one of the ones that probably fell off because nobody favorites the games. Nobody favorites the games. I can't look at the game if you don't favorite it. Dad, I suddenly got hit with an enormous wave of nausea. Not because of phobies, just I don't feel good all of a sudden. All right, let's see. All right, first game up, we got Hordes here on transaction declined. Reverse Mildred sweep. Okay, that's a sentence that can be constructed. We'll see what happens here. Transaction declined. When was this last in the pool? 4-6. That was some time ago. As mentioned, there's like 40 games in the queue. I can't review the games fast enough. Innocuous coming out of Hordes. This all looks fairly standard. Pretty standard thus far. I did actually go out and record one of the Fright Night games because everybody said it was so nuts. That one will go up as a 2-minute highlight at some point. Maybe we'll look at it at a different point. But at least this way I have it recorded. Alright, Horde's just clearing out 1 keys here. We're flipping some panic points. We got a little unicorn mirror match going on. Gravedigger coming down. Man, chat, I suddenly really feel nauseous and I don't know what's going on. It's probably just exhaustion. Like, I'm just tired. I've been trying to drink a lot of water, but water doesn't cure everything. Like, at some point, you do need other things. Like sleep. Triple panic point advantage. Get this break, which allows the unicorn to cover both the top and center panic points. Is Fright Night still going? No, on all fronts. I might have to make a like actual full like at everyone announcement in Discord because we're not gonna get into it, but I must have said it 1,000 times that I'm not doing Fright Night anymore, and I still have people asking me, wait, this was the last Fright Night? Well, that would be what final means. Ooh, the Tickles lives. The Tickles lives. I love the way the Tickles, like, rolls the... I was gonna say fingers, but they're not fingers. I don't know what you'd call them. Spines that it skitters around on. 7 keys for bad guy. We're gonna get a boop, I guess, from the shove shark to eliminate the, I don't even know if that's a good idea. Like, if you go after the gravedigger, then you just lose the bow mangles. And at this point, I don't know what purpose the gravedigger's serving. Either way, Boomer's gonna body block here. This is a much different type of transaction decline game than we typically see. Generally, we're getting, at least the ones that are submitted, I don't know, like, this is probably closer to what actually happens on the map, but typically the ones we get submitted are like, oh, hey, I high-five rushed them and killed them in 10 turns, or something like that. Ooh, there's the shove shark play. That's a dead innocuous. Hordzz. Not like this. At this point, bad guy's probably feeling pretty good. And then Mildred hits the board. Just in time to watch your game this time? Good timing. Good timing. The Mildred does, in fact, come down. I don't know if this was a Hail Mary play or if our hero here was... like, they were always planning on doing this. And it just happened this way. But bad guy still has 8 keys. And a triple banding point advantage. Bad Omen. You know what's funny is we still don't see Bad Omen that much. Like, it's fascinating to me that we don't. Why don't we see Bad Omen more? I feel like we really should. Either way, that's a maxed out set of Why did they put that there? Why would they do this? Hordzz, did you pay this person? What is your plan here? In what world is it a good idea to bunch up in front of Mildred? What? Why? I don't... oh, man. I just... I think they had too low damage to deal with. Yes, but, like, the answer to, oh, I can't kill that thing is not, let's just bunch up and let it kill me. That's not a good plan. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. All right, bad guy. You got 8 keys. Show me something. I always love this play, though, when something advances to get a kill, and it advances onto the conveyor tile and then gets slid out of range. It's always hilarious. All right, Firkin's actually going to turn off the Mildred. It'll get it once, because the Mildred can't get far enough away. Oh, excuse me. That being said, Karst has talked about this on many occasions. I don't respect Mildred, but even I wouldn't bunch up the rest of the team in range. It just literally makes no sense. Unless you're trying to surrender in style, for lack of a better way to put it. There's literally no reason to do that. Alright. Bad guy's trying to make a game of it, but it's a triple panic point advantage. I have bad news for you. G. Note to self. Don't put my entire team in front of Mildred. An active Mildred. I wonder if bad guy thought, like, it was on cooldown or something. Or not on cooldown, like it had a longer warm-up or something. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't... Why else would you do that? It just makes no sense. Alright, Kurosame, our second game here on Moai. A little weird game, but I can summon Russell, so... Some sort of smiley face. I can't really make out what that is. Like, so tiny in the spreadsheet. I don't know what kind of face that smiley face is supposed to be making, so you got me. Moai's out of the pool, right? I don't even remember. Pretty sure it is. Chat, we might do a lot of variety next week. Like, we'll still do viewer games on Sunday, but maybe we'll do a lot of variety next week. Not sure. I got a bunch of real life stuff going on, so we might have weird streaming schedules anyway. We'll have to play it by ear. Alright, bad guy leading out with Jill. Those reasons. I don't know. People do weird stuff. I used to, I mean, even last game, like, I questioned a bizarre move, but, like, that was a game-losing move. Admittedly, like, opening Jill is probably a game-losing move. But there are certain ones that I just don't question anymore, because it's just like, alright, well, I guess that's what you want to do, friend. Alright, so we shove Shark up the stabby, get a free shot onto Jin Sting. But our hero did drop an attractor. Attractor made its presence felt in Fright Night, which sounds like it should be obvious, but truth be told, we haven't seen a lot of attractor, let alone attractors doing well. Oh, bad guy, not like this. I don't know what stress level they're at, but they're at a high enough stress level that you shouldn't let that happen. You just let that happen. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't be doing that. That's a tough lesson to learn. That is a very, very tough lesson to learn. Bad guy setting up the defensive wall. All right. It's fascinating going from Fright Night and watching, like, Alien Engineer and A-Mark and duke it out and spend, like, the entirety of their entire turn debating a single move. And then watching somebody's Innocuous just get absolutely yeeted into an abyss tile. Like, this is so silly. Oh, this is so silly. Glob, because I don't know, I just unlocked it. Like, why did you go glob in this scenario? I like the idea, at least on its surface, of Cerberus or Hydra as an attractor counter, because it's like, alright, it's a big chunky boy, does a bunch of damage, whatever. I really don't like Glob, on the other hand, which you would think they should both work, but the range is shorter, because you only have a 2 range as opposed to a 3 range with a Hydra or Cerberus, 3 being because you can move twice, or, well, I guess the range is the same, never mind. I don't know, it just feels like Glob never, like, this is gonna live, right? and then you just pull it off? I don't know. It just... Bob seems so bad. Lob will connect with Russell. Trust the process. Sure. Like, what was accomplished here? That's twice that bad guy just, like, here, have 4 keys. For freezies. I'm going to spend 4 keys to do 1,000 damage and change to Ginseng. Yay! Sure, bad guy. You got it. Admittedly, bad guy can apply some pressure here. 8 keys available to him, 13 total. Getting the block out. All right. All right. Bad guy's cooking. Sort of. Not really. Not really. Because after all, that is only a Jill up there. The Gravedigger can present more of a threat, but... Challenge play. This is a dead ray. I could see this being a dead ray. It is not. Pterodactyl to the rescue. I'm not sure what Russell is doing. I guess it's trying to make its way up to maybe cut them off. Like, come in from the other side. We do get the Ted to buff Jill. Ooh, Gravedigger actually dropping the offensive. Ooh, the good shove play. Alright, bad guy's trying to make this work. He didn't work hard enough, though. That attractor's still alive, and oh, baby, you are about to have a really bad time. What? Ugh. Why did you move the Jill, too? What? I don't even know what to say. That is a lot of death knells. Where was the snowball? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, they must have... Okay, that makes more sense. They moved the Jill because otherwise the pterodactyl could kill it on its own. That's why. I was trying to figure out why they even moved the Jill, because it was just going to die anyway. Zero keys to 0 keys. Our hero has a panic point advantage. They have a very large Resurrect Phobia and Pterodactyl. They have a Tractor. And they have Squiggles all up against your heart with a 5-0 panic point advantage. Bad guy has Broken Finger Ted. And GG. Yeah, I don't know. This is one of those scenarios where you almost wish you could walk one of your phobies into the Abyss tile, because it's like, nah, this game's over. And just send Ted off the cliff. GG. Hilariously, they had the Ted avatar, too. I think this game is still winnable. For who? Oh my god. I don't know if that last game counts as weird. That was just a beating. Like, you just stomped on that person. All right, Great Ginger Gabe on Rush Hour Spider Attraction. Extended the end for a quest. All right. So not BM, it's quest. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, Karst has started another document, or maybe he's had this one for a while, but he's looking for feedback on his quest rework document. I don't know what the team is doing with this. So they had mentioned over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago? Like, was it in the first year? Phobies? No, it had to have been probably sometime last year. They mentioned a bad guy starting off with Tiny Tim. That's a thing you can do. So they mentioned that they were looking for feedback and like about a quest rework that they were working on. I may have missed it, but I have seen absolutely nothing about that. And to be honest, that should take precedence above and beyond balance. Full stop. That is way more important, fixing the quests in this game, because the Phobies economy is atrocious, and the quests are a significant portion of that. I joke about it. I mean, at this point, I don't play enough Phobies to actually complete quests, but, like, I don't think I've completed a quest in over a year. Now, I could re-roll them, but I'm not going to because I just don't care. But, like, why are the quests so bad? I know why. I think that the quests were designed, and this is just me guessing, of course, they don't tell me this. I think the quests are designed in the same way many Phobies are, which is just with the spreadsheet approach, where it's like, we want X and we want Y, and then how do we, like, what are the costs? For Phobies, it would be like, all right, we want a flying melee phobie at 4 cost. What's the, and then the spreadsheet craps out the stats kind of thing. All right, we assign this much cost to a pole, this much cost to a boop, this much cost to a blom, this much cost to a this much cost to a that. And I think spreadsheets were designed the same way. That was evident before they took out the ones that were, like, literally impossible, such as capture X panic points with Charon, which is literally impossible. So I imagine it was just, here are all the parameters, capture panic points, kill, resurrect Phobies, do this, do that, and then here are all the Phobies. Assign a quest to each of them. And that's fine to start, except it's not even fine to start. Like, it shouldn't have even been that to begin with. It should have been what I suggested to Karst, and Karst wrote down, is that it needs to be more generic. It should be just like, win 2 games. There's your daily quest. Or, like, start 2 games. Spawn 3 monsters. Stuff like that. It needs to be so, like, you should be completing all of your quests by accident. And you can't tell me that it's not possible, because I literally play other games where that's exactly how it works. Regardless, it's not that way today, so put your 2 cents in, check out Karst's document. I want a shop that you can buy dupes with tiers or something. Different cards rotate each day. At this point, I'll take that. I mean, the ideal would be everything's always available, and you could always just buy the dupes. Or whatever, you could just buy the phobie. Real money or other resource-wise. But that's not going to happen. Panic points going back in favor of bad guy. 7 keys to 12 keys remaining. We got the attractor. We got the spider. I don't see a kill anywhere here right now. I mean, you could get a double pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is this enough damage? This can't be enough damage. Is it really? I just assumed that, well, actually, the Ginsting could come down. Okay, okay. Because I was like, oh, you're going to pop something out of spawn, but you don't even need it. Holy crap. What level is this Hevo? That's a level 14 Hevo. Game, please. Wow. Look, I'll be honest, I've done this a whole bunch of times with my Hevo. I'm like, there's no way it dies. There's no way. And then it dies. And it's like, oh, sad face. Big ol' sad face. It's the way it goes, I guess. I'll hydrate action. Bad guy's gonna get the reverse takedown, I guess, on the spider. I think I would trade Miss Moffat for Evo 3.0. Yo, today is the day of blue, chat. We've seen a lot of blue. We must have saw 4, maybe only 3 in Fright Night Top 8, but, like, that's a lot more than usual. Wait, is this really happening? You can probably hit it with bees. Oh, you're just going to poke it with the inoculus. All right. Again, like, okay, I lose the inoculus. All right, well, I traded it for a tractor. This is just trading up continually. 1 key to 0, Hematic Ginseng getting added to the fray. Even if you invade here and get the inoculus, you're going to get punished. They never learn, chat. Bad guy never learns. Wait, what? Bees! That's not good. All right, okay. 10 keys down. I guess the Gonzo repositioning is just so it can attack twice next turn? That seems a little weird. Regardless, that... Why is... Does Tiny Tim always do that when it gets hit? Where, like, it's like, ah! One way, and then whips back the other way? Does it always do that? Or is that a visual bug? Gonzo dead? That's probably a dead Gonzo. You know what's going to be funny? If Gabe can trigger the blue with the muffin. That would actually be hysterical. Erratic going to get a big multi-hit, but it's only 1 multi-hit. Womp womp. Rip muffin blue relationship. Pop. Wait, what? Why does Ray not have the visual effect on this? There's something buggy about this replay. Slap. Slap. 4-1 panic point advantage. It always does that? The Tiny Tim thing? Really? That's kind of funny. Very silly, but it's funny. Alright, Ray Chargel's now maybe it was just obscured by the obstacle. Because it does have the debuff on it now. More visibly, anyway. Alright, so here's where I think Gabe was suggesting they were extending things for a quest. It probably was a recap Panic Points quest or something like that. Muffin! But yeah, this game is over. This game is over. Tractor does attractor things. Honestly, Rush Hour does feel like a very attractor-focused map. Which, I mean, that happens. It is what it is. Slap. Oh my god, it doesn't die. Here's another reason that the quest system needs work. This scenario should not happen. Like, if you put a quest in that says kill X with Y, and then this kind of setup happens, you're gonna delay if possible in order to complete the quest. I get it. The system should be designed in such a way such that that is never incentivized. Like, it should be discouraged. So if they removed all those quests, I think the game would be better off for it. That's just me. GG. We return. No, it's not hold still. It's magnificent. I was going to say we return to whatever. Tired. Noobsim. I don't know how I survived Hematic Boss on Magnificent. Please give me advice. Well, if you survived, I feel like you figured out the secret. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you should be giving us advice, Noobsim. Also, I don't know if people noticed, but that Kivo avatar that Noobsim is sporting is plaid. Pretty sure that's supposed to be plaid, which is funny that they spoiled it way back around when Frosty came out. Just like end of November, beginning of December. A long time ago. Alright, fairly standard stuff out of both players for the most part. Do you think Gravedigger has one leg that's smaller than the other? Or is that just supposed to be perspective? Given that he's sewn together random body parts, I do have to at least consider the fact that whoever created Gravedigger did create him, like, exceptionally asymmetrically. I think that is possible. Alright, we get a little Charon action. A not unpopular choice on this map, similar to Scoposeum. That guy just flipping panic points. We're just getting the build-up started. This is a 35-turn game, chat. This is a question that I pose both to Twitch chat here as well as YouTube. They're the same size. You can see when Gravedigger moves. There's a lot of weird phobie proportions, though. I mean, I'm sure they're the same size, and it's supposed to be perspective here, but when phobies move, sometimes weird things happen to their model, too, and part of that is intentional charm, I think. Like, I think the team is trying to... Like, the goal is to make them a little weird and a little creepy, right? So things being, like, especially an undead, not being the right proportions kind of thing might be intentional. But that wasn't the question I was posing to everybody. The question I was going to pose to everybody, because the devs will not provide us this information. They don't really provide us stats. They provide us sometimes... Excuse me. Sometimes they provide information about the stats. Such as when we got the balance patch, it was indicated that, hey, these phobies were out of line for win rate or KPIs or whatever, but they don't tell us what the win rate or the KPIs are. So here's the question. What is an appropriate game length on average? Like, obviously, some games will be longer, some games will be shorter. But let's just look at Magnificent here. What should the average game length be? This is a 35-turn game, and as of right now, I mean, things are getting into standoffs. If it was 35 turns with a Tractor Akira, or it was 35 turns with this, what is the difference? I think about this a lot, because obviously people complain about balance, and they complain about, oh, well, this phobie needs to be banned for tournaments, or they got to nerf this, or change that, or whatever. And it's like, but why? Like, what is the problem we're trying to solve? And the reason that it matters and the distinction is important is so that we can identify what the appropriate response is. An attractor Akira game shouldn't be more than 25? Yeah, but are you saying that because, oh, well, it's so powerful it should end the game? But if the average attractor Akira game goes the same length as the average non-attractor Akira game, what's the difference? Obviously, there can be game quality differences. Like, I'm not saying that there aren't. By the way, we finally get boss. By the way, noobsim, I'm pretty sure the combination of Hivo, Gonzo is why you win this game. I'm just going to go out on a limb. Hashtag just saying. Bad guy pooping on the panic point. That Charon. Always with the poop. I really think that when people talk about fast games and slow games, are actually thinking about how it felt dynamically in the moment. That, I 100% agree with, ZT. And the thing is even if, like, okay, we have two identical, by the way, this is probably where the game ends. We're pretty close. It's not the objective number of turns or actual length of time. That's what I'm saying, is, like, people want these things changed, and maybe you end up changing, you know, like, you change the cooldown on a tractor. Like, let's say that is the correct thing to do. And regardless of the circumstance, whether it's because it feels bad, or it does drag things out, or it does this, or it does that, or it doesn't do this, whatever. That is the, like, that's the answer. Okay, fine. But the important part is the exercise of trying to identify, like, what are we fixing so that we can properly fix or identify future problems. And prevent future problems because, and this is speaking from, like, what the devs should be doing. Because if people don't like how a tractor makes you feel, that's different than what a tractor actually does in the game. Because as the devs even said, according to them, there is no... The tractor is not an outlier. Also, what the hell is bad guy doing with this? I guess they're doing this just to block the... But, like, that doesn't work. I guess it's because... No, it would have... Like, this spider would have pulled the boss onto the north lava, not the south lava, if the statue wasn't there, right? I don't know what the hell bad guy's doing. I mean, time perception is relative, right? Something you enjoy doing is going to feel fast. Something you hate doing is going to feel like an eternity. That's just a normal human thing. So if you don't like how... Isn't the boss just going to cook you here? Is there no way for bad guy to set this up? Oh, they don't want to go for it. Here's the second thing, noobsim. I'm pretty sure bad guy did not do this properly. Can't play statues on mud tiles? Yeah, I know, but that wasn't the question. I'm asking, like, why did they even put a statue down to begin with? Why did they do this? All right, we get the challenge play. We'll come back to the other thought. Bees. Farts. How often do you see Miss Moffat straight up kill a Hivo? Bad guy in shambles. I mean, I was about to say, are you not going to use your fired? Like, what do you have against this ability? All right, anybody for Rack a Lamb? That, yeah, that sheep is not long for this world. Nor is that Jin Sting. 6 keys remaining for our hero, but, like, I'm not gonna lie, noobsim, I don't know if you were being facetious with, like, how did I beat boss? But, like, the answer is bad guy just walked their team into Hivo on at least 3 occasions and let you get enormous value out of it. Admittedly, you have to stand here on the fire and the lava, and like you're gonna lose stuff here, but you're ahead. Wait, what are they? Wait, what? Okay, well, it's gonna die anyway. Okay, this is fine. It's gonna die to the fire anyway. I was thinking, like, why are you not doing the challenge play with Sparky to kill the damn Hevo? But, I mean, this is fine. This allows you to, you know, like, they would rather offer up the bow. And I want to say that, oh, well, this game is getting close. Look at it, it's only 2 phobies. But noobsim still has 6 keys, so, like, I don't know if they're taunting bad guy here. Why didn't you spend the 6 keys like the last 3 turns? you could have made your life a lot easier here. Down goes Sparky. 1 is, in fact, the loneliest number. And Bo is an expert in loneliness, apparently. Bo Solo's trust. I would not take that bet. I would not take that bet. There have been some times I'm so caught up in the action of an arena game that I literally forgot I had keys left to spend. I feel like that's happened to me once before, so I'm mostly teasing noobsim here, but... Bad guy, don't run away with the bow. Like, you're down on panic points. There's no way you can, like, accidentally win, even if noobsim makes a mistake. I kind of wanted noobsim to juice the daisy to hit the heart to end the game. GG. Yeah, I don't know if your question was serious, but, like, bad guy let you cook him? That would be like the lobsters jumping into the pot of their own volition. What the hell were we talking about? Oh, yeah, the turn length stuff. So... how do I put this? The bottom line is that the reason I don't feel that I'm playing devil's advocate with this kind of stuff. I'm legitimately trying to get to the truth kind of thing. Like, what is it specifically about a tractor or a Kira that's problematic? Because as I said earlier today in Fright Night, you can't tell me that these mirrors, or even just the gameplay of one person having a Kira tractor, is not skill testing. Everyone loves to say it's an I win button, but we've seen plenty of good players beat it, and plenty of bad players lose with it. So clearly there is a skill gap involved, and especially when you have the mirror, and we watched a lot of good players today face off in the mirrors, as well as, seemingly, find ways to prevent Akiras from hitting the board. That remains to be seen. But if people don't like the gameplay because it does whatever, fill in the blank, that's fine. But that is the reason. Not because it elongates the game, because it makes the game feel long. Those are two different things and may require different responses. Like, I don't think that if it makes the game feel long, that nerfing the health is really going to fix it. Like, I don't know if any nerfs will fix that. Because we're still getting the PTSD moments from people today when Akira and Attractor showed up and like, oh my god, the meta hasn't changed. Because Akune came back just to check in. It's like, oh, everything looks the same as it did 6 months ago. And it's like, it doesn't. And I don't know that any of these changes, if these phobies show up, because those scenarios are still going to happen. Wonder if we'll get a monster and a mech statue ability like Gravedigger and Crushmore. I'd be curious if they had design rules about, like, this is part of the undead and dimensional identity that they can terraform. You could come up with weird lore reasons as to why, but I wouldn't be surprised if we eventually did. I'd really be surprised if we didn't get another terraform, but it might be like the next terraform is it destroys an obstacle. It'll be called something else, but like it destroys an obstacle or creates an abyss tile. However, I'll be honest, I don't know if we will ever get create an abyss tile. I could see removing an abyss tile, but creating an abyss tile would cause weird geometry issues where, like, imagine the heebie-jeebie special, but you could never destroy the obstacle. Like, that's a problem, right? And that's an actual problem. I'm going to assume it's this one, even though it's the same person they're favorited. Dudiobugtron. Dudio? Dudiobugtron? I don't know. I'm just making things up now. Or call him Bug. Could call him Dude. I don't know. Whatever. Hero save. Brony saves the day. There you go. Stop with the halfies. Look. Halfie... I don't even remember what phobia annoyed me before as much as Halfie does, but Halfie really annoys me. I don't think we'll ever get a created abyss tile. Honestly, I think it would be problematic if we got a create an abyss tile phobia. I'm telling you, like, imagine the heebie-jeebie special, but it's an abyss tile. That would just straight up ruin the game, kind of thing. Or could. I mean, we do kind of have that already, Kuro, with the hybrid-type phobies like Alistor and Sucky, to a degree. I know it's probably not quite what you're thinking, but, like, they got the Undead Life Leech. And I've always thought that I feel like the undead should get something that, like, hey, can they get the abilities from some of the other phobies? Because, what the hell? That being said, I think it is cool to keep the identity of the different phobie types unique so that way it's like, okay, well, it means something to actually be one of these. Halfie equals useless. I don't know that it's useless, but Halfie is not good. Halfie is probably the most overrated phobia we ever had. I just want an undead yoink. There are tons of, like, lore. I think I said it before the last time this came up. I'm stunned that Mummy didn't do that. That feels like an obvious Mummy trope, where, like, it grabs you or wraps you up in the wraps. Maybe that's why they didn't do it. It's just so that it wasn't obvious. The Mini-Me thing feels weird on Mummy. Like, it feels like Mini-Me should have been on a more direct zombie phobia. You know, like, if Jill or Ted had the Mini-Me ability, or, like, we had a third one, like, Jill and Ted there's a child zombie, and the child zombie can turn their guys into zombies or something. To be fair, the ability that Mummy got is very cool and unique. It is, I just don't think it fits Mummy. Like, from a pop culture perspective, I don't think there's any lore anywhere, like mythology, about, like, that's not what mummies are. And I don't think even in pop culture references that mummies do anything like that. Or are we coming up with an undead that... Yeah, we wanted to have a phobie that, like, suplexes something. And just, like, flips it over itself. We're kind of filling the silence, because the early parts of Rush Hour is just, alright, we're staring at each other. Alright, speaking of Akira. Alright, so here's the true test, chat. Does Akira slow this game down? We already know that it's 19 turns, so we know that it really doesn't. But, like, did Akira itself... if Akira was not here, would the game have been longer? Presumably, yes. Would the game have been slower. Slower in the it feels slow sense. My argument is yes, personally. I think Attractor and Akira both feel like they accelerate the game when they show up, and they actually accelerate the game. And to be honest, now that I'm saying... Okay. We're pausing this because I want to get this thought out because it just occurred to me. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Karst's primary game mode is async. And I don't know how many people out there play async and arena, or whether you play just async or you just play arena. But I pretty much only play arena. I don't remember the last time I played an async game. I don't remember the last time I played a game, but that's a different story. I wonder how much the phobies feel differently in one mode versus the other. Because I could absolutely see, like, there's an upper limit on how much time you can devote to both figuring out your Akira pulls and figuring out your opponent's Akira pulls. So, the way that Akira or Attractor would negatively impact a game is hypothetically different in the two modes, because I could see it being the game slows down in async because you're sitting there trying to calculate every single potential thing instead of the most likely ones. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we do sometimes get these, like, oh, well, this is the surprise Akira play because somebody was able to register it quicker in arena. But in async, I'm trying to explain for myself, to be honest, why there is such an enormous disparity between my lived experience as far as these phobies go and other people's. And I think this might be a plausible one, where if you play in different modes, it is going to cause different things to happen. And if you're going to just increase the number of things that could happen like that, and you're going to test and double check and triple check every possible movement and pull, maybe that's why. I don't know. It's an interesting thought. Whether it's true or not is another story. Anyway, let's get back to this. Akira and Attractor make people double think every phobie movement because they're position checking phobies, which I guess annoys people. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure that annoys people. It also tends to screw people in arena because if your brain isn't registering every possible move, then you lose. That sounds like a skill issue. Like, part of me is like, yes, that sucks. Oh, by the way, we get counter Akira. Part of me is like, yep, that is true. That sucks. It's not fun. And I can't really disagree. But the other part of me is like, especially when it comes to tournaments, it's a skill issue. Like, get good. That it sounds dumb, but like, that is the answer. If you don't want to get blown out because you can't calculate all the Akira routes, calculate them faster. And I'm not saying that that's how it should be, but that is a solution. That assumes that, again, we're operating under the assumption that Akira, that, like, it is answerable. As opposed to, and there's a valid argument to be made, that once the Akira comes down, it warps the game to such an enormous degree that there's nothing to be done about it. Like, yes, you can quote-unquote play around Akira, but it's going to get you. Speaking of going to get you, looks like bad guys actually doing their Akira first. Activating Haffy. Chat, I really hope, I don't care what else happens in this game. I just want Haffy to die this turn and do nothing. I guess you could argue that Haffy soaked a bunch of damage. What level is this Haffy anyway? It's a level 13 Haffy. Almost 700 damage. Like, that's a lot when it's powered up. The Akira goes down. Oh my god. To be fair, if you took 5 days, your game would have already kicked you out anyway. Like, you would have just lost from that. That's a brony deactivating everything but the stabby and the gin sting. 4-1 panic point advantage. Morty, 5-1 panic point advantage. Chat, they literally turned everything off and took the entire board. Everything. All of it. Morty! GG! GG. That's actually hilarious. Honestly, I don't know if that was an unwinnable position because our hero... Well, I guess it still would have been really bad because... Wait, what? Hold on, I just saw something. Who was that? Yo, Collector MVP? And buffed Taffy that live no longer deals damage. Lol. 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 Honestly, Brony did dig them out. I wonder if there was a way for Bad Guy to salvage that. I wonder if there was a way for Bad Guy to salvage that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is game 6, I believe. I'll take a break after this game. I want to stretch my legs, chat. I've been sitting too long today. Sitting in this chair too long. Not healthy. Pretty sure Miss Cha did a video about that game of Collector. Interesting. The Collector game from Dudio did 11k damage in one turn with the Collector. A lot of damage. All right, Spartacusbad. Spartacus. Good? I don't... And it is like your dog named Spartacus, and it just, like, scratched its ass on the floor. You know, like a dog's got an itchy ass and it drags it across the carpet. Like, and you're like, bad Spartacus. Spartacus bad. Like, what is happening? I don't know. Anyway, the notes here are async game on the map for Nassified. I fought against an aggressive Zappy and then had to deal with a nasty level 23 point... Oh my god, there's a book here. Hold on. A nasty level 23.0, but like a great surprise, I used my new pal level 2, which saved me and my jar from a Maggie counterattack once 3.0 went down hard. Thanks for reviewing the game. There is so much to unpack from that. Like, what? What? All right. We're going to find out. Big Poe, what's good? Spartacus must be a Spartan's dog. All right. Aggressive Zappy, check. AoE down. I'm assuming there was a Phantom involved or a Shove Shark. Wait, so we're diving the Zappy? Okay. Wait, did that Gravedigger just do 900 damage? Oh, it was on the stem. It was on the stem. All right. I was like, what the hell just happened? Yo, that Zappy just got cooked. I think my jar will be level 19 if I get the reward for the event. Nice. All right, bad guy did in fact bank up to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 phobies out on the board for our hero. They got to be feeling good after that Zappy pick, but then just to prove it, let's see. That is, in fact, a level 20 Hevo 3.0. Welcome to the Molotov cocktail party. Bad guy building their defenses. Honestly, this isn't bad because you also use it to extend the range of the Hevo. Like, you can splash there. I don't know if you really want to do that in this scenario, but I mean, it's a thing. Ha! That's cute. Bad guy, did you not just learn your lesson with the zappy? How many times I gotta teach you this lesson, old man? What? Bad guy, for your sake, I hope you got some kind of healer. Alright, there's a muffin. 9 keys still available for our hero. Maggie's getting cooked. There's the Maggie. Honestly, this Hevo's dead, isn't it? The Hevo's just dead from the jar? Shrieking Ginsting. Dude, why? You had the keys. Just put a goddamn clinical on the board. Yo! Get him! I'll be honest, you already had this. You didn't need plaid. You honestly didn't need plaid, but flex on him, why not? Level 2 plaid, huh? Alright, alright. I mean, I guess the Maggie would have killed the jar, but, like, that's a... Holy shit, that's a 700 damage Maggie. Plaid move... Yeah, like, I like a lot of the things about plaid. We're not talking balance or anything like that here. I don't have any thoughts on that at the moment. Because I don't care. I don't care right now. But the animations and stuff, it looks sweet. Plaid is such a silly phobia. I love the way it can just jump scare people because of the 3 movement. Yeah. Balance-wise, like, I mean, I kind of care. I don't like 3 movement or 3 range phobies. I think it breaks one of the fundamental rules of the game, and there's too much risk associated with it. All right. GG, Spartacus. Well done. Well played. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the 3 movement stuff, but it is what it is. We'll just put this on. I'll be right back, chat. I'm going to stretch my legs, get some more water, and then we'll do some more games. Don't go away. All right, chat, we're back. My dog is so gentle. Like, I let her out while I was taking a break, and usually at night, my wife or I give her a treat when she comes back in. So she's sitting there waiting expectantly. So I give her a piece of cheese, but I'm trying to hand it to her. And she won't take it because she keeps trying to, like, to make sure that she doesn't accidentally bite me. She's like, and she always does this, she's like carefully nipping at the corner of the cheese to the point where I can't even give it to her because she won't take it. She's that gentle. It's ridiculous. I don't know how we found this dog. I mean, I know, but, like, I don't know how we got lucky enough to get this dog. Oh, wait. This might not have been the right game. Hold on. Hold, please. Hold, please. It was actually this one. I think it was this one. All right, we got a karst game here on transaction declined. I'm submitting this match to show how a lack of map scaling feature is becoming a growing issue in the game. I think Marshall played well here. He's a player I respect who's beaten me a few times before. We've seen Marshall show up. Keep watching. Oh, on the other game? Too late. We got more important things to do. We got viewer games. Karst going with a somewhat aggressive opening here. I've seen Karst do triple ones on this map. Map scaling, for people that are unfamiliar with the issue we're trying to highlight, is that the heart, the panic point damage, the lava tiles, all that stuff scales. All the various tiles. They scale how much their value is worth. As in, like, the heart gets more health, the panic points do more damage, the healing spas heal more, the lava tiles do more, but only up to a certain point. They only grow to a certain level. And once you've surpassed a certain threshold, you start to run into issues. Now, the devs have said before that they see level 1 as the quote-unquote intended way to play Phobies. Meaning that even if you were at level 30, the way the scaling works, the game is not the way it's quote-unquote intended to function. And as a result, you get stuff like this. Like, this is a 13-turn game. Look at the heart health. We're on turn... This is Marshall's 3rd turn. They got to take 2 sets of actions prior to this. They are below half health already. Now, admittedly, this is because... Look at Karst Phobies. These are level 20 Phobies. Marshall's a little under-leveled, but not significantly so, in a way that materially impacts this game. Like, could they have killed something? Like, what has died? It was the razor mouth. Like, okay. Could they have killed it a little easier? Probably not. Like, just by virtue of what things are there. Now, I've usually come down on the side of, I don't think this is anywhere near close enough to impacting enough of the Phobies player pool to be meaningful. I don't think enough of the Phobies player base plays as cutthroat as they need to for this to even be relevant. That's not to say that it's not a problem or that it shouldn't be addressed. And I have to imagine that this is probably simpler to address than many of the other issues that I tend to highlight, because there's clearly a multiplier, and the multiplier stops at a certain point, so don't let it stop, I guess. I mean, it's tied to League, so maybe they can't unless they created another League, and it will require way more effort. I'm not trying to downplay what the devs can or need to do. But in this particular case, I think the tendency of the general player base is to not play aggressive enough for this to actually affect them in a material way. But we are getting to the point where even by, oops, I did it by accident, we're going to get these games. And there are maps that are impacted in more subtle ways. So Moai, as an example, is one that I think is a very heart rush map, but if it's scaled differently, maybe it wouldn't be. I'm not sure that's true, but it would certainly change the evaluation because the numbers are different. So Marshall here is doing their best to try and defend, but on their 4th turn, look at their heart health. Like, there's just not very many options. Honestly, I don't hate Haffy here, only because it's a big tanky boy, most likely. Never mind, it's only a level 8. I mean, I guess it's probably that maybe, I don't know what a level 16 or 17 K9000 is. As far as, like, what its health would be in comparison. Because if it's higher, just go K9000. Stop going with Happy. Happy's terrible. The only time that it's going to be different... Like, this is 605 damage, which is like, oh, well, the K9 only gets 500 damage. It doesn't matter, because you need 2 hits to kill any of these things. So, for most intents and purposes, they're identical. Except your K9 has better stats and is more universally useful because it doesn't need to already be damaged to make some of these things happen. Now, I think at this point, it's more relevant to point out that... Because you could easily say, oh, well, Marshall is pushed... You know, like, why didn't they put better Phobies on the board? Then their stuff wouldn't have died, and then they would have been able to fight Karst. Except, the whole point of this is that I don't believe that Marshall ever really had a window to do anything except spam things on the board and pray. And that's what Karst is pointing out. So, is the map scaling a problem? Yes. Because it's not fitting, and we pointed this out 2 years ago. We just didn't know how much of an issue it would be, or not be, for that matter. But we knew this was going to be a problem. And like I said, I do agree that it should be addressed. I just don't know where to prioritize it or what kind of technical debt is going to be derived for the devs as a result. Alright, so Cat'll claim this. Oh, that Hevo's still not dead. Oof. This could be a level issue. Never mind, that has 700 more health, almost 800 more health. And even then, even if you kill this and reclaim it, the jar is in range, and like 2 hits and it's dead, so... a few, like... maybe the level issue comes into play here. But either way, GG, that is an enormous amount of damage getting pushed, so... if you were wondering what Karst has been talking about, there you go. GG. Yeah, I mean, this has been an issue or a known issue for a while. Not trying to, like, take anything away from Karst's point. I just legitimately don't think this affects the player base in a meaningful enough way. Like, it absolutely affects pretty much 100% of games. But I don't think enough players realize what's happening to do anything about it. Or they have bigger play. So it's possible in a game to have multiple things that are impacting it, right? Whether it's player skill, it's maybe some variance, it's stuff like this with certain systems. And the larger, like, one of the things could be a larger impact than others. And I think for most players, if they worked harder at not sucking, they would be better off than worrying about stuff like this. That's not to say that there aren't players that won't be affected by this, and that is the primary thing that's negatively impacting them. But I'm not convinced that there's enough players that are cleaning up enough of their play and playing well enough to have to worry about this over playing well, sort of thing. Or even economy issues where, like, okay, yeah, I not only need to play better, but I also need to level up all my stuff, which, you know, maybe you can't. And then it's the problems with the maps, kind of thing. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't disagree with Karst about this being a problem. I just don't know if that's where I would want to focus dev efforts unless it's a trivial thing to fix. Let's see. This, I think, is the 8th game. Elf, you're killing me. Killing me here. Alright, it's still on their profile, at least. Still on the profile, at least. Alright, Bronze Elf, our hero here on the big house. You fell for my trap. You've activated my trap card. I've, honest to God, never seen a Yu-Gi-Oh! Episode where that line came out. I think the levels should scale by level averages. What? Now the special map tiles scale by 3%. I don't really care what it scales by. As long as it's intended and things are, like, there's clearly a relationship between, say, the lava tiles, the disease tiles, the poison tiles, the panic points, the healing spot, whatever. There's a relationship between all of these things and the intended phobies. So, like, Jar at level 1 can stand on a lava tile, shoot something, and it will live through being on that tile for 2 hits. That's clearly intended. They could have, it has 420 health. They could have easily made it 400, and it dies. I have hard health scale with both levels of the player's average. Anything like that is going to get weird and cause problems in the sense that, like, we have ladder, like, people pairing up against each other that are problematic. Plus, that's still not like... So, for example, if you get somebody who's higher level and somebody who's lower level and you average it towards somewhere in the middle, that still gives an advantage. Like, you could argue any of the scenarios end up giving an advantage to the player who is higher level. Because if their heart is lower level and you have higher level phobies, then karst scenario happens again. So why wouldn't you just make it the highest level? Like, make their heart health the highest, to match the highest level player in that scenario. I haven't thought through all of the scenarios, because like I said, I think there's higher priorities for the most part, but the reality is that no matter what you do, the best answer is whatever the hell the devs intended the relationship to be. Which admittedly, for ladder is going to be a disaster, because it's just going to be all over the place. Ladder is almost intended to be the Wild West. And it's just going to be a mess. So at a certain point, I'm also of the opinion, like, who cares? Like, all right, the ladder's a disaster anyway. Make it a slightly less bad disaster and be done with it. All right, bad guy with their innocuous going on, squaring up against our hero here. Little gonzo action. Setting up the trap, like, all right, so clearly our hero, based on the notes, traps the crap out of bad guy, but, like, bad guy doesn't have a dive team right now. I mean, like, they're not going in with innocuous. Well, they shouldn't be. Oopsie. Like, okay. I'm starting to get the sense that this is going to be a congratulations, you played yourself moment of, like, bad guy, how did you walk onto these traps? All right, bad guy's maxed out, so this poison on the Venus actually matters a significant amount because this will chip it down, and then that way our hero can actually remove it from the board. Also, the creep eats a trap, which you could argue that's good or bad. 6 keys to 4 keys in favor of bad guy. But the tractor's down for our hero. Not a small map. It could be bad. All right, there is trap activation numero uno. We're trading corn for cassowary, essentially. Gonzo retreating. Fair enough. Feels weird to slam Gravedigger this late in the game, but why not? Erratic. We don't really have a great way to answer erratic. Yeah, there's only 2 traps on the board. Like, what? I guess you could hold stuff. All right, we get the little heebie-jeebie special action. Of course, Tickle's going to eat up any traps here. Hotshot going down onto the innocuous. You can get 3 hits onto the Klepto by moving the Oopsie Baby. Nope, we're going to go for the power down. I respect it. But if you don't get that innocuous out of there, you're going to get a tractor yoinked and you're going to have a bad day. Ooh, the double kill. Really? Honestly, bad guys might not be out of this. They can hypothetically trap up the board and then eventually retake the center. Possibly. It depends on whether they can score another power down on Klepto, because otherwise an invade is going to get punished pretty hard. But, like, this Klepto's doing 33 damage. That's not exactly impressive. And now, but the Klepto's active now, so, like, if you try and go in, they gonzo and then Klepto and blow up your team. I don't know. I feel like bad guy's missing some opportunities here. Clearly the Venus is not long for this world. Yep. Who could have possibly seen that coming? Beating the crap out of Erratic. You do get the double mech hit, but, like, it's not enough to keep it alive. So this is going to go down, and then it's 2-to-1 Attractor Klepto versus Oopsie Baby. I don't believe Venus had the opportunity to lay any other traps. Is that positioning better? Would you not have been better off? I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. Because you just get the yoink here. Now it's in range. Hero on the full retreat, 565. You can soak one hit. Really? The greed! You literally didn't have to do anything. You just pass turn until the game ends. Oh, the greed. The greed. GG. GG. Oh, man. If I was a bad guy, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed. Yeah, that's a feels bad man moment. Feels bad, man. All right. There is another karst game, but we're going to skip over that one. That'll be the first one for next week. We got this, and then we got one more from somebody new. There's a few new people in the list. Pinapple coming back. Teen Spirit. Bad Sushi MVP? All right, let's see it. Not gonna lie, I've lost games. I think we've all lost games like that, DT. Because it's one of those things that just, like, they probably legitimately forgot that corn was even in the game, let alone up in that area, even though they killed it up there. Bad Sushi finally good? No. I mean, the devs even... Really? This thing's just dead. Like, why did this happen? I don't even know it. Wait, really? Bad Sushi this early in the game? I thought this was a meme. I didn't realize how much Bad Sushi flings its tail around. We do get the heebie-jeebies special. I mean, kind of knew that was coming. Yeah, I feel like Bad Guy just didn't realize that the Gravedigger is just straight up dead. What is it? You need to be like 2 levels higher than the creep to survive? You know, barring leeching scenarios. Alright, we get the Gravedigger to solve the heebie-jeebies issue. It's true. Mission accomplished. We got the block. Oh my god. Notice how Bad Guy is completely ignoring Bad Sushi. I wonder why. Yeah, the devs did confirm that they are working on a rework for it, which I kind of wish they wouldn't. I think they should leave Bad Sushi alone. I know it sucks. I just say leave it alone, because who cares? Bad Sushi, kill number 1! Bad Sushi is like that jerk teammate who's just kill stealing the entire time in an FPS. So you... 9 billion damage done. 6 kills, 4 deaths, 85 assists. And then your teammate who's like 95 kills, 112 deaths, and like 38 damage done. And they're like, oh my god, get on my level. You gotta put out more kills. It's like, nah, buddy, you gotta stop kill stealing. Triple panic point advantage. What kind of fish is Bad Sushi supposed to be? Like, why does it have fangs? I'm not gonna lie, our hero is being somewhat aggressive here as well. Droney to reclaim the panic point. Sure. You could probably snipe the jar, but you're gonna lose the murder wing. It's likely worth it. Piranha? Maybe? Remind you of a wolf eel? I'll have to look that up. I've heard that name before, but, like, I can't picture the animal. Piranhas are too short. Remember, this is, like, Phobies take some, artistic liberties, we'll say. Has similar shape. To an eel? I gotta see this animal, because I wonder if it's, like, a misnomer calling it an eel. Jar to finish off the Droney. Daisy is... Like, honestly, Bad Guy doesn't feel like they're in a terrible... Well, I guess the Klepto really puts them in a bad spot. Am I going to get rickrolled when I look up wolf eel? Is that why you're saying you'll see? Like, what? That sounds ominous. First page results are going to be... It's all rickrolls. Rick rolls as far as the eye can see. Are you serious? Is this thing dead? Oh, okay. Okay. Baby Snaky, what? I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel like Bad Sushi's doing a whole hell of a lot. Like, it absolutely would have been better if it was virtually anything else. Bad Guy with the last-ditch effort, a tractor. Did that really just happen? Are you serious? Okay, like, alright, that's something only Bad Sushi probably could have done. Well, I guess Sheep could have done it too. I don't know. Oh. Oof. It's a big oof, man. That's something only Bad Sushi could do? It's not true, though. Unless you have Minotaur, or Sheep, or Bloat, or like any of 12 other Phobies. Problem solved if you just have Bad Sushi do 1,000 damage. Honestly, I think it would still be bad. Like, Bad Sushi needs... Flesh Crawler. The list goes on. There are numbers for Bad Sushi's current implementation that would make it playable. However, I think most of them would make it broken. Like, it would have to be so good that it would be oppressive. But I don't think it matters how much damage it does. I mean, it clearly matters. But, like, the larger issue is that you can often just walk away from it. Or you're never, like, unless you give it 50,000 damage, you're just going to muffin whatever it hit. If it matters, like, it's the function, the niche that it exists in is not a good one. A one-move AoE that only hits around it, not like 2 range, is not good. That's just not a good ability. But Bad Sushi MVP. Saw it here first, chat. All right, we're finishing up with a shorter one. Kingbastos? Bastos? I don't know. This probably was the most stupid I played in a few weeks. Huge level disadvantage. Plus, I don't know how to properly play in large-scale maps. Anyways, I managed to win the game by hard-rushing my opponent's heart. Well, Bastos, whatever, hero. You may have discovered the secret to Moai. Now, this kind of goes to Karst's point earlier of map scaling. What levels are we at? We are at level 10 and levels... What?! That's an enormous level disparity. Level 17 versus level 10? Get out of here. Oh my god. And I used to say this a lot, and other people said it as well, that, like, if you are under leveled, the answer is the heart, because, like I said, 2 years ago, we identified that it doesn't scale the same way. Heart rushing your opponent's heart as opposed to heart rushing what? The heart rush is what the heart wants, Latona. Or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, we identified 2 years ago that things don't scale the way that... Because it scales by league, and the leagues stop at a certain point, but the levels keep going. And I don't have any idea why the team decided that. If it is true that the intended gameplay mode is level 1s, it does not make any sense to have the scaling work the way it does. So there may be a difference in opinion of how the team views it. Like, maybe whoever had stated that at whatever point felt that, yeah, that's how it should be, but other team members felt differently. Wait, why didn't you... If you could have shoved Shark that, why didn't you shove it and then Blom so that you could hit everything? Because then you could have killed the cowbell, hit the Jin Sting, and the cassowary. I don't know. Whatever. So like I said, maybe there's a disagreement among team members. Maybe things have changed. Maybe it was the easier way to program it. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of reasons for why it possibly could have been one thing or another. If the intended way to play is level 1s and the whole league structure makes no sense, it does if you think about money. And I'm not trying to, like, oh my god, they're so greedy, but, like, it's obvious that the entire game is predicated on people spending money to level up their stuff. Well, that... You missed the earlier part of the discussion, Atona. The earlier part of the discussion was that that the scaling stops. So things do scale based on the league, but obviously the leagues stop before the levels stop, and therefore the scaling is all out of whack. So the game we watched was... The game ended in, like, 13 turns combined. So, like, one player had 7, one player had 6. And it's strictly because the heart doesn't scale any longer, so you don't have as much health, and they just get annihilated. Why the hell did this happen? I mean, I guess you can bomb the heart to now hit stuff. Or to 1 panic point advantage. I don't know if it's even worth trying to fight this thing. Yeah, you definitely don't want to leave the jar there. I can tell you that much. That being said, Blasto is only a single phobie. Oh, it's probably like a level 17 Blasto, so... Blom. Kind of makes me wonder why aggroing the heart isn't more common. I mean, I don't mean this to be insulting, but it's gonna be insulting, because most people are bad. Myself included. Like, I don't do it as much. Per Karst and other people, it's much more common at higher levels, which makes sense, as both because the player skill level at the higher ranks recognizes what's happening, and they also have the higher levels of phobies to do said rush. So it logically makes sense. But for everybody else, I just don't think people are recognizing it, or they haven't scaled past where they need to be in order to really make that feasible. Well, high five action. Is Wiggy gonna... Yeah, Glob is not gonna cut it right now. Well, I guess you could walk the Glob. Why did the Blasto move? Like, are you gonna try and get the Blasto in on defense? Because that ain't gonna happen. Like, that's not happening. I don't agree with this, only because I think that high five should have gone on there to connect. Like, what is high five doing? Why is high five not on top of the heart right now? Put it on the panic point. Morty! Sure, we'll get that sarcasm. That guy was trouble. So I need a new chair. The part that connects the back to the bottom of the seat cracked in half, which means I can't lean back without turning the chair against the wall first. Otherwise, it folds in a bit. Imagine having to do an ab crunch to stretch your back. Wait, what? I don't even understand, like... So the part where it connects cracked, but for you to lean back, you have to lean forward? Or are you saying you're doing an ab crunch in order to, like, spin it? Bye-bye, Blasto. Like, was that the worst Blasto of all time, chat? Thunk. GG, down goes bad guy. Yeah, kingbastos. Well played. This is kind of the meta on Moai. Different phobies get used, but it is a valid way to try and beat people that are higher level than you, is just crush their heart because they can't keep up, sort of thing. It's, in fact, a thing. So well done. Well played. Yeah, we had some quicker games tonight. Oh, we had some quicker games tonight, which is good because I'm tired after Fright Night. After Fright Night, I am tired. For me to lean back, it actually leans the whole seat. Interesting. I guess you can use it as an exercise excuse? I don't know. You can say you're working your core. Doing your core exercises. Chad, I hate it when games have really cool, like, concept art and poster art, and then you look at the game and it's like this could have been played on the original NES. But the seat is loosely enough connect, it leans back in 2 pieces. Yeah, that sounds like that seems dangerous. Stream over? Yeah, we're going to be closing up. I'm tired. We did 10 games. That's my goal every week. We have 30-something more still in the queue, so we're going to get a patch that will break these before we get through everything, because people keep adding stuff, which is fine. But there's 41 total. We did, so we have 31 remaining. Some of them are repeats, you know, like Potenzi has a couple in here, Karst has a couple in here, Don Tinklesniff has a couple in here, hordzz has several. But yeah, we're not going to get to some of these for a while. Just because it's going to take time. Specifically about 3 weeks to get through 30 of them. So we'll probably, I'm sure we'll get a patch to break some of these in the interim. My latest loss? I haven't played. I haven't played. Like, I was joking about it, but like, because somebody asked me the other day, since I'm not going to do the tournaments anymore, will I be playing more? And I think next weekend we might just do a lot of variety. Like, we'll do Friday variety. I gotta think this week about whether I'm going to still do Monster of the Week or not. If that happens, then we'd look at Monster of the Week. If not, we would do more variety Saturday. Sunday would be stream games, and then Monday would be the usual variety night. So we'll see what happens. I'm not like giving up Phobies or something, but it was... I just need a little space, we'll say. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. But that is going to do it for tonight. We can refund Tona there. Where this is. Fuck. Why does it do it in this order? That is so stupid. But yeah, we're going to call it a night. We'll see about tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to be playing. Probably Helldivers. Maybe Cards and Castles too. We'll have to see. I'm just very tired. But I appreciate everybody coming out. As always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time for more Random's Thoughts.